She's gonna stick around. Haley, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Sorry for the confusion. Thank you for joining the show. We appreciate you coming on.
Thank you for having me on here. Sorry, I'm in my car. I'm in the middle of traveling from a gym 4 hours away back home, and I had to pull over. So I
No, no
apologize for that.
worries. No worries. We appreciate you giving us a few minutes. Obviously, you have a fight coming up. If you want to start there, just let everybody know about this upcoming fight and how they can get tickets.
Okay. I fight May the 3rd. Um, it's gonna sound really bad, but I really don't know my opponent's name. Like when I see her name, I know it, but it's spelled really weird, so I don't really know it. I've watched her, but I don't necessarily know her name. She's 2-0. We're gonna be fighting in Nebraska. Um, There's a poster on my Instagram, and my Instagram is under Hailey Pennington, but there's two Y's. And on there, we'll give everybody the information on posters or on ticket sales and pay per views and stuff like that. Because I haven't actually gotten anything personally to really know anything about that, so I figured it's all on that website that's listed on that actual poster.
And what got you into the sport? Why boxing?
Um, Growing up, I was always around it because my dad liked boxing a lot, but I thought it was stupid. Like I really thought it was stupid, and I thought, why would two people want to get into the ring and just sit here and just fist fight each other? This makes no sense. And he'd be like, Haley, you need to do it. You need to do it. You need to do it. No, I like basketball. But I was always around it. Like I said, he would take me to these fights. I'd fall asleep in the stands. It was boring. I just wasn't interested in it whatsoever. And then throughout time and throughout high school, I got into some fist fights with some people. And it was never like the fist fights wasn't ever my drama with them, or I didn't have an issue with them. But it was more like they were trying to be bullies, and I didn't like that. Like, just mind your business. And so I would stand up for people, and then I would beat people up. And I don't know. As time went on, life got a little bit rocky. But it is what it is. And my senior year of high school, I was in a house fire and I almost died. And when you're almost about to die, you kind of, I don't know, things are just different. Because I was just so thankful that I wasn't dead, like, you know what I mean? And I had another day to live and everything else. But I realized if I would have died that day, nobody would have remembered me as anything other than just this high school girl that burned up in a house fire, you know? So, um, after I got out of high school, I just needed to find something to do. I started college and stuff, but I don't know. I didn't want to be, normal or whatever. And I was like, I'm kind of good at this whole fist fighting thing. And my dad, was around this thing. So maybe I should just kind of go into the gym and check it out. So that's what I did. And ever since then, I walked in the gym probably 7.5 years ago. And it was the hardest thing in the whole entire world. So somehow, some way, I fell in love with something because it's just so hard that I don't know if I can conquer this, I can conquer anything. So that's a little bit of background.
So you just turned pro last year. You were able to get two fights. Do you find it difficult to get matched up, or was the two fights just enough for you last year, or are you looking to ramp up, your activity?
So I'm from West Virginia. West Virginia is not a big boxing state. It's I'm gonna be honest, like it's not a big boxing state at all. There are whatever. I signed with the promoter there. Not really gonna speak on that. It is what it is. I just had to get out of it because it wasn't for me. It was for them, basically, if that makes sense. So then I got with another promoter, and he had got me my first actual pro fight. But everything about that pro fight was just nothing was right about it. The girl came in like over 20 something pounds overweight. Everything was just messy. Everything was disrespectful, and it was just like, why are we still like that? You don't come in, that overweight to a fight, So whatever. And I had,
But wait, but you took the fight.
yeah,
What was the contracted weight?
the contract weight, and I was going up in weight at the time too, because I'm never this big, but I just wanted to fight. So the weight was supposed to be at 150, and she came in at 170 something.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Wow.
and
And the
so
commission approved it.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, because it's on
uh,
BoxRec, so it's like, wow, okay.
yeah, so then I had to get up to that weight. I'm not really gonna get into how I did all that either, but I ended up.
You put something in your pocket, a la who was it? Ray Leonard.
I can't like I feel like I did a lot to get up to that weight, okay? Because I originally weighed in at 140 something, and I weighed in on Friday, and I had to come back in on Saturday and re-weigh in again. And I remember my dad just looking over, at the people that was running this, and like, this is ridiculous. Like, this is really ridiculous. Um, and then people just tell my dad, well, it's just nothing. It's just nothing. Like, this is something that she don't even have to worry about this. This should just be. But he was like, no, it's ridiculous. Like, my daughter, like, is, I'm getting into the ring, and this girl, I think, was 171 and a half pounds when she weighed in Saturday because we had to come back in and reweigh in.
So, is that gym the pin? Is that yours or is that your dad's gym? The pit, excuse me, the pit boxing.
So my dad opened it for me because I was driving an hour to get to a boxing gym every single day for 3.5 years. But I'm blessed that I had that gym, and I still will be going back to that gym to train as well. But he just wanted me to have something close to home, because I was about to turn pro, and just so I would just have something somewhere to always work out at, no matter what. And then from there, I kind of turned it into everybody's boxing gym, not just mine.
That's
So
good.
now I'm the one that runs the boxing gym now. So he started it, but I took it over. He comes in, we still train together, but I'm the one that works with the other people that come in throughout the gym.
All right, so this fight is themed around Cinco de Mayo. Um, are is your opponent of Mexican descent?
Actually, Gwen just told me, my manager, just told me, yeah, I guess she has some Hispanic in her.
Some,
I
huh?
haven't I haven't looked at the only thing I'm looking at. Yeah, there she. Boom, you found it. Yep. The only thing that I'm looking at is just footage on her fights. That's it. I'm not really digging that deep into her, whatever else. But Gwen not did tell me, so yeah.
Were you able to find fights on her?
Yeah.
Okay. No,
Yeah, and
I don't know. I
actually
mean,
I'm gonna
her box rec looked like maybe she took that picture in 1979. I don't know. It looks like a old school driver's license there, so I didn't know if there was any actual footage of her out there.
No, yeah, so I'm gonna sound like a fan when I say this, but I don't give a shit. One thing about me, I'm gonna study who the hell I'm getting into the ring with. I don't care. This
Hey,
sport is a
you
smart
gotta over
this
you gotta check every
yeah.
stone.
Yeah, this sport is a smart man sport. So her first two fights are on YouTube. Her third fight, I actually just bought the pay per view on it, and I mean, it wasn't like I went out. It was $25, so like, I just got the pay per view on it, but like, I had to type in my name, the ticket sale thing, because it matched with my credit card, and I'm like,
Oh shit! So
oh my
now she
god, they're gonna.
knows you bought it.
But I don't give a shit. She can know, yeah. And I watched it. I watched every single bit of it. Um, but that's what you got to
I
do.
prefer you to
You got to
watch
dig.
tape than not watch tape. I hate when I ask a fighter, "Do you watch tape on your opponent?" Oh, I let my team do that. And I get it because
Yeah,
you can obsess. You can obsess on what that person is doing, and they come into the ring and they don't do it. But I'd rather see than not see,
yeah. I'm always gonna study, no matter what.
for sure.
That's and you got to study other fights too, not just the like your fight that you're about to go fight. But you have to watch these people, like no matter no matter what it is. And that's what the thing is when you're watching boxing. You don't watch it like you can't watch it as a fan. You got to watch it as a student. Like when you're a fighter, that's how you have to watch it. You're a student. You're not watching this, with feelings or anything like that. You're watching this to learn.
Um, so I see that you fought Stacy Shuttles in the amateurs. I actually know her personally. How'd that fight go?
I will say, Stacy, there's two fights that I really learned a lot out of, and I will always appreciate that. And I bring up her name quite often. Um, for one, when I got into the ring with her, I knew she had a lot of experience, a lot of experience. Um, So I was just like, whatever. And that's how I was with my whole amateur career. I'm gonna get into the ring with whoever because at the end of the day, it's just experience. And at that point, a loss is a loss is a lesson. And Stacey, yeah, she beat me. She When I got into the ring with her, I realized that there was levels to this sport. I did. And I realized that I was at the wrong weight class. Like, I was only walking out at 141 and I fought at 146. And the referee ended up stopping that fight with only 3 seconds left or something like that within the last round. And I don't understand why, because it wasn't like that. Like, yes, she got the best of me, and she really did. She taught me a lot. Um, she taught me how important the jab was to the body. So I have a lot of respect for her, and I do appreciate that fight. Even though I lost, it is what it is. But kudos to her, and she's very talented, very very talented.
Yeah, she just turned pro not too long ago. Do you expect her to go far? Excuse me. Do you expect her to go far?
What weight class is she fighting in?
Ooh, I would have to check. I think her first fight was on Boxing Insider, though. I would have to, look her up. Give me 1 sec. But in the
Yeah, well,
meantime, go ahead.
yeah. I mean, I think she's disciplined, and because I looked at her, social media and stuff, especially after we had fought, because like I said, I respected her.
She's actually 2-0 now, and she's fighting at. She weighed in both times at 140 and 141.
Then yeah, she should. That I think that weight class is good. She's very tall. She's very very tall, and she's very very long. She's strong, and she's disciplined. You can tell she does the same thing. She sticks to what she does, and that's how she does it.
So I got a couple of questions from the people before we let you go. First one is coming from Toledo Trees. He says, "What's your thoughts on bare knuckle, and do you believe boxing could thrive on alternate platforms like Zeus Network, the CW, or BET?"
Okay, my thought on bare knuckle boxing is that I'm not gonna do it. Like, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna knock you if you can do it. Actually, kudos to you because you got that in you. But I'm not gonna go out there and break my hand every single time I fight, or my face is not like. I'm just. It's entertaining, yeah, and you know what? It is very entertaining, and so I respect people that do it. But me personally, I ain't. That ain't for me. Just like MMA, that ain't for me either. Like, there's just some things I just no. Um, what are my thoughts about boxing coming onto those platforms? I
Yeah, what's
think.
your thoughts on boxing being on alternate platforms like the ones I mentioned?
I mean, go for it. I think it's good. I feel like wherever you can put boxing at, go for it. It doesn't matter. I mean, where you put it at. I think the more platforms that you put it out to, the more boxing is just going to grow in general. That's why I think, for instance, I'm going to bring up Jake Paul here real fast. I think he's done him open doing his own promotion and stuff like that. He's really helped boxing grow as well. So, put it on platforms, start your own. And I don't know. I don't have no negative thoughts towards it at all.
All right. Next one is from Octo that says, "Who's your favorite music artist? And give us one movie we should watch. One good movie we should watch."
My favorite music artist is Kevin Gates, and a movie. I think the movie you all should watch is Machine Gun Preacher. And
I feel
why?
like I've watched that. I'm gonna have to Google that one now.
It's about that preacher. Well, it's about this guy. Like, he was just. I mean, he was just rough.
In Africa, right? It's like a preacher in Africa, or no?
Yeah, but he lived a really rough life, and he ended up going over to Africa. Not, no, I don't know if
Is
it
it
was
with Gerald
no.
Butler? It is with
I
Gerald
don't.
Butler. Hell yeah, I seen that.
That's
That
a
was
very good
that
movie.
was young Gerald Butler when he had no stomach.
That was a very very good movie. I
Yeah.
think I would recommend that movie because it just shows kindness, and then it's all about the Lord. So
So, being from Virginia, did Christy Martin have any influence on you? Because isn't she from around there and does shows in Myrtle Beach and things of that nature?
West Virginia. Uh, but yeah, Christy Martin. She's originally from West Virginia. I really didn't know anything about Christy Martin when I first started boxing, to be honest. Because I really didn't like look into boxing that deep. But when I started, actually fighting and like actually like, doing research and stuff like that, and I just started being around more boxing people, I got her name in my ear and stuff. And actually, in the amateurs, I flew from Huntington down to Texas to go to an all females tournament, and Christy and her wife drove down there to watch me fight, but both my opponents pulled, so it was just that was crappy. But I did get to meet her and stuff. Um, she she's done a lot, and I think too, like I look, because you look at back, you think fighters back then, you think of these females, and you think of these world champions and stuff. I look at it like their competition wasn't what it is now. But what I can say about, so like you see some of these girls fight back then, and it's just like that. It is what it is. We've gotten a lot better over time, and that's with anything. Um, but Christine back then, I've watched her fight, and I think she could compete with these girls now, if that makes sense. So I have a lot of respect for her, and she has a really good story. She has a documentary out on Netflix actually
Yep, yep,
about her.
yep. No, shout out to Christy Martin. I called one of her shows in Myrtle. Great person. I got a couple more here. Let me just refresh. First one is from New York Bully. He says, "What's up, champ? Have any personal favorite boxers that inspired you? Blessings. Have any of your any personal of your favorite boxers inspired you? Pretty
Yeah. So what's
strange.
going on? Thank you. Um, yeah. So I have some fighters that I like. That I like. Like I said, it's good to watch fight as a student, but you can still like. I still like people. You know what I mean? People still. I'm a fan of some of these people. Like so, for instance, David Benavidez. I really like David Benavidez. He right now he is my favorite fighter. I just like his whole backstory. Him being chunky over there, and but he just kept his head down and just fighting him, just believing in himself. And like, you see this fat, I'm just gonna be honest, you see a fat kid in the gym and you're just thinking in your head and he's sitting here telling you like, I'm gonna be a world champion, I'm gonna be a world champion, I'm gonna be a world champion. You literally have to believe in yourself so much to, do what he's done and, to go as far as that he has. So I would say he would be an inspiration and I like his style. And then another one is Katie Taylor, simply because I can really respect the whole, in the amateurs, she couldn't even be a girl. She was a boy, over there fighting other boys. And then she was the first, female fighter in Ireland. And I really respect that she loves Jesus. Like, I don't know if anybody's noticed, but when she walks out, it's always to gospel music. Um, so and she has hard fights and she takes hard fights. So I look up to her as that as well. Like, she follows her faith. She keeps her head down and she's not one of these girls, one of these big time females that are just on social media is talking crap all the time. She just does what she has to do. She's humble about it. She brings a great fight every single time, win or lose, and she just goes home.
I gotta ask you. Sounds like you're a big fan. Did you have her win in both fights? And who do you think takes this third one that was just announced for Madison Square Garden, July 11th?
Okay, so I'm gonna be honest with you. So the first fight I watched, when you're watching these fights live, it's like, whoa, when something big happens, like, Serrano had gotten that punch where she almost had Katie Taylor, or Katie Taylor was hurt. Um, but if you score it round by round, the way that you're supposed to, if we really break the boxing thing down, and if you score things round by round, and you score, just because somebody is walking forward and throwing punches doesn't mean that that person is necessarily winning. How many of these punches are landing, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And you have to remember the early rounds as well. That's what I'm saying. You have to score round by round. Me personally, the first round, thought Katie Taylor won. I thought she won. Like, I only gave Serrano. Oh my god, I'm gonna feel bad even saying this because people always thought that Serrano won. I only gave Serrano maybe 3 or 4 rounds that whole fight, that first round, or that first fight around. The second fight, I'm gonna be honest, I fell asleep. I don't even know why I fell asleep, but I fell asleep in the middle of this fight. Didn't know what was going on. Got on my phone. Everybody's bitching about the results. So I get on the fight and I watch it. And I'm gonna have to say I gave Katie Taylor that fight too by 1 round, is what I'm gonna have to say. This third fight, it's hard to beat people, it's hard to beat somebody 3 times in a row, but I think it's going to be the same thing again. I think Katie Taylor's going to move around. She's going to move her fast hands, and then eventually her legs get exhausted. She gets exhausted, and then she ends up fighting, and staying in the pocket. And then that's why in the later rounds, I think that's why Serrano always looks better and looks like she's getting the edge. And then Katie Taylor always ends up fighting harder that last round. So I think same thing, same. I think Katie Taylor pulls this third one off too.
All right. A few more before we get you out of here. We got Trillion Dollar Dreams. How did you get into boxing? Who are your idols in boxing? Outside of boxing, workouts, jogging, rope, pad work, etc. Do you have any other unconventional disciplines that help you in the ring, like mental gymnastics? Excuse me. Yeah, no, he said that. Like mental gymnastics, reflexes, exercises, or breathing techniques. Thanks.
Okay, long story short of my life story, because I already told
Well,
that.
you already told that
Yeah.
part. I'm sorry. I'm
Okay.
sorry. Anything that you've
No,
already answered, no need. I just want to always shout out
yeah,
everybody that took the time to send you a
yeah,
question.
yeah. Well, thank you. So what do I do outside the gym? I, I, everything I do is the gym. So I have a personal trainer. His name's Chris Lane. I work out with him. That's who does my strength and my conditioning and stuff like that. And then I also, have to go into my boxing workouts and stuff like that as well. Um, No, I mean, not really, because I'm putting in the work in the gym. So therefore, no, there's not any type of mind things that I need to do outside. Like, I hear people say they'll stand in like a cold shower for like a minute. Which, you do you, if that makes you feel better. Me, I don't want to stand inside the cold shower for a minute. Um, but other than that, no, there's not really. And when I'm in the gym, that is my mental. That's when it's hard. That's the hardest time of the day is when you're in there and you're working and you got people telling you what to do and how to do it and this is that and you're doing this wrong. But you need to fix this and blah 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 and so many different things. So that's enough for me. When I go home, I like to relax and I just like to just watch boxing and just study what's going on.
I have Ali and Dago that says, "Hey Haley, how far up in weight do you see yourself going?"
Look, after my first fight, I grabbed the microphone and I let everybody in that building know that I was not 161 pounds. It says light heavyweight on my thing. So I guess the highest up in weight that I ever went is light heavyweight. But the highest up I'll ever go, like again, 135 maybe. I wanted to fight this next fight at 125, but they said 129. So we just went ahead and just went with it because I just fought my last one at 135.
All right. Next one. Huang out of Houston says, being that you grew up around the sport, do you feel like the gym is the second home and is camp easier for you because of it?
Mm. No, because like I said, at that time when I was growing up, I didn't like the sport. My dad, like, he just loves it. Like, he loves it. Like, even to this day, every time we go to his house, it's just boxing. It's just boxing on the TV going nonstop. I don't mind it now. I actually enjoy it. But back then, that's all I saw. We'd go to these fights, and, like, go to the gym. Da, 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 da. It got to the point my dad would just leave me at home and then go to the gym and do what he had to do. Or if my mom had me, then he would just go off to the gym and do that. So not back then, but now, yeah, the gym is my second home. Like I said, it's been 7.5 years. Every single day, I've been doing something in the gym. So 110% that is my second home. And what was the second question?
Uh,
Oh, do I feel like it's easier being in camp
Easier,
because I'm home?
yes.
Is that because like I'm at home, like is like my dad's supposed to like pat me on the back and be nice to me or something, or
No,
like
I think he means because you
more
have your own gym,
comfortable?
does it make it easier?
Yeah, or more comfortable. Okay, I didn't know which one. I was about to say no because my dad's an asshole. Um, I'm being so for real. Uh, yeah, I mean, yeah, it's more comfortable, and especially too when you start off in this pro stuff, you don't really like you're not out here balling off of your purses and stuff. You just starting, and so I actually like I run the gym. I get to work in the gym, so instead of me actually having to go out and work or having to use, I have an education degree and other things too. But instead of having to go out and use that and being on their schedule, I can be on my own schedule inside of the gym. So yeah, I would say it makes it easier. But then I also still have to go out to other gyms and stay and come back so that I'm able to get, different work and different looks. Because like I said, West Virginia isn't in a big boxing area.
All right, and I think we have that might have been the last. I'm gonna give a final refresh here. That looks like all of them. Hailey, if you could give out your social media and once again let them know how to get those tickets and how can we watch the fight.
Okay, so that flyer that you just put up, I think
Uh
it has
huh.
all that information on it. If it doesn't have that information on it, then I really am not for sure right now because they haven't personally given me anything.
Okay.
But my social media though, and I'll post about it when we do get it. It's right there. Yep, Hailey Pennington with 2 Y's.
So this looks like it says May 3rd, Lincoln, Nebraska, at the complex. Doors open at 6 p.m. First bout 7 p.m. Oh shit! B&B Boxing Promotions. Coach Bomack this is their fight. Okay.
Yeah, Glenn gave me that name, but I forget stuff. I get hit in the head.
Okay, I'm gonna send this to Coach Bomack. I had no clue. What date is that? May 3rd. I think
Yeah,
so.
there.
That's a very busy date. Damn. You got Canelo fighting, and then the day before you got Devin and Ryan, fighting in Times Square.
I know that's
Uh,
awesome. It's okay. There's pay-per-view and stuff on it. And
so yeah, man, we
that's
would love to get you back on for the victory lap and continue to follow your career. So yeah, once you get the win, let's stay in touch.
okay. Sounds good. Thank you so much for having me on here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Hailey Pennington, up and coming prospect, female division. Once again, this is the flyer. She's going to be fighting. Look at that. Small world. She's going to be on a Bomac